Hi, and welcome to the KitchenSix podcast. This is a podcast about knitting and sewing and crafting and cooking, because food. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll probably add reading occasionally in, because books, yo. My name is Nellie, and you can find me on Ravelry and Instagram and YouTube as KitchenSix, because that's me. I'm KitchenSix pretty much everywhere. This is my second podcast, episode 2. It is February 5th. I'm looking at the calendar. 2016, and probably have a pretty short podcast for you today because I have been pretty busy the last couple of weeks, and yeah. So anyway, first thing I have. Oh, that just happened. That just happened. So the things that happened are, this is the way it goes in most of my life. They're things that I had to do over and over again to get it right. But I got it right this time. So one of the things that happened was my alpaca hat. And it's really simple. I just did an inch of, well, maybe an inch and a half of 1x1 rib, and then I did a spiral decrease pattern, which is really, really simple. And then I made it extra long so it's good and slouchy for my almost 12-year-old's head. She really likes it, and every time I touch it I get alpaca all over me. So yeah, but it's done in 100% baby alpaca, and but so she loves it, and I had to go steal it from her room in order to show it to you guys. But yeah, that's baby alpaca grande hand dye, luxury Plymouth brand from Plymouth Yarns, and it's yeah, gorgeous, pretty, soft, super squishy, and so cozy. But and well loved by my daughter. She's wearing it constantly. The other thing that I finished is her white hat that she asked for a performance that she did not wear to the performance. So yeah, so I made it for her. I had to do it a couple of times because she didn't like it the first couple of times. Whatever. Anyway, so I knit it exactly to her specifications, and I did the spiral decreases, and I finished it a couple of days before her performance, and she was super excited about it, and then she didn't wear it to the performance because she said it would be too hot. Yeah. So, I mean, she looked really cute at the performance anyway, so I'm not gonna, but I had to have a talk with her about that one. If you're going to demand knitwear for a specific deadlined occasion, you need to wear it to that occasion, because yeah, I wasn't pleased with her on that one. Okay, what else do I have? Oh, the Castile hat. I finished the Castile hat, and it was gorgeous. There's of course pictures on Instagram. I did put it in the Ravelry, my Ravelry projects, but I will probably have an editor who will put the picture of the Castile hat somewhere in here. What else? Oh, doing it well. What am I doing? Well, I transferred my second sock over to my Chago DPNs, because I was working them on bamboos, and I had them on 2.25 bamboos, so I put this on 2.25 metals, But then my gauge got really, really much smaller. Like, I don't know if you can see the difference between the gauges. Like, here it's kind of loose and here it's really tight. So I had to, I actually went up a needle size. I'm on a 2.5 millimeter right now. And I'm still contemplating going up another size because I really don't want them to come out like a whole lot denser and smaller than the other ones. So I'm still contemplating that. And I got to the point where I was turning the heel, and so I worked on that for a little while, and I got to the end of the one side and I was finished turning on that side, and I still had a bunch of stitches on the other side, which means that I missed something or I did it wrong or something. So I'm gonna have to figure out what I did and redo it. So I ripped out the heel turn that I did, and I went back because, yeah. So, but that is, that's the second sock. The first sock, and I'm debating with myself about this because I don't know if you can see. Yeah, you can see really well right now. See how bad my Kitchener is? Like, okay, this is my first Kitchener, and I'm not going to be too upset with it being wonky because it's the first one I ever did, and I'm a new knitter, and it's the first pair of socks, but I do want them to be comfortable and to last, so I'm contemplating ripping them out and redoing them. Just from like this green stripe here, just so that I can do it right. And because I didn't take very good notes, because I didn't know about notes. Anyway, I didn't take very good notes on how I did the toe, so I think it'll be really difficult to match the toes. So I'm actually gonna have to probably take notes while I do this one, and then rip this one back and do it the same as I did the second one, if that makes sense. But I love this yarn because it's, well, it's nice and sturdy. It's 75% superwash and 25% nylon, and it's by Wisdom Yarns. It's called Pix. See? And yeah, the colors are gorgeous. The colorway is techno. Yeah, that makes sense. And I have another ball of this kind of yarn, not this color, that I really, really like as well. It's got purples and blues in it, I think. It's really pretty. But I just love how bright and cheerful and colorful it is. Like, look at how much color is in there. It just makes me happy to look at them. And you can see all my crazy, like, I did crazy things in this sock, but yeah. My first ever socks. And I love them, even if they are crazy and wonky and weird. So, and those, I keep those in it's just a muslin bag, but it's got these adorable little kitties and yarn balls on it. Aren't they cute? So cute. Yeah, so it just makes me happy to look at it. So, but I keep it in there. And for the most part, my DPNs stay in there. I think I'm going to have to invest in or learn to make some DPN cozies, because I've been having issues with my DPNs escaping lately, which could be bad. Alright, what else? Things that I'm doing. So I'm calling this the striped lace hat. No, this is 2 different scrap yarns, well, leftover yarns from things that I've done before. The red is it's the cherry that I used, the cherry colorway that I used for my hat. It's by Ella Ray. And then this green speckly variegated yarn is it's PDX Carpet. It's by Knitted Wit, and it's on her Victory DK base. She's based in Portland, and she's got stuff in the shops there. I know she has stuff in Twisted. I don't know about any of the other shops, but you can also find her on Etsy. Again, it's Knitted Wit, which is, yeah, she's one of my favorite yarn artists. She makes amazing colors. So I've just got like 2 little balls of those 2 yarns left, and I'm just striping about an inch, inch and a half, and then switching. And I'm only doing the lace in the red, but the lace is, it's an altered or adjusted for this hat pattern. It comes from the Castile hat, actually. I took the lace pattern that the Castile hat uses, and I altered it to fit this hat so that it makes a nice pretty pattern, but doesn't do weird stuff because the stitches are like the Castile. And that's the Castile is a ribbed lace, and I didn't want ribbed lace, I just wanted lace. So I made it so that it was just lace, and it's just repeating lace. So yeah, and the last thing that I'm doing is I am swatching for, and if you've seen the last one, you'll know what this is. Swatching for my Hito Fude, which is it's a cardigan. I don't remember the designer's name, and I don't have it right on the front. There it is. It's a cardigan by Hiroko Fukatsu, and you can buy it on Ravelry. It's 200 yen, which works out to just a couple of dollars US. I don't know what it is in euros or pounds or whatever, but it's a lovely, lovely cardigan, and it's completely lace, and it's done all in one piece, and it's just gorgeous. It's just a beautiful cardigan, and everyone that I've seen knit has just turned out beautiful. They're just gorgeous. So that's the Hito Fude, and I'm working on it. It's been kind of an interesting couple of weeks around here, busy and hard for me. Yeah, so that's what I've got going on. Oh, and one other thing, I've got my sister has a birthday coming. You like my yarn bowl? It's just a soup bowl. It totally works for me though. My sister has a birthday coming up, and she said she doesn't have anything warm to wear on her head, so I just today started her a hat, and it's actually, I'm just at the ribbing, but it's the Harvest Moon pattern. It's a free Ravelry download. It's Harvest Moon by the River Knitter, and it's basically a ribbed hat, but like every 6 rows or whatever, you twist the stitches so that it sort of looks like a cable. Does that make sense? But yeah, it's just a really cute, slouchy, patterned, simple hat, which I think will be good for my sister because she doesn't really like everything to be crazy fancy. So that is what I'm doing it and doing it well. Shiny pretty things. I don't have any shiny pretty things. Like I said, it's been a difficult couple of weeks around here. So I didn't get to any yarn stores, which my husband is probably grateful for. My budget's definitely grateful for. But I didn't go to a yarn store because I didn't have a need for anything, and I didn't feel like forcing myself just to go. So yeah, that's that. What else? I don't have shiny pretty things. I do have a couple of new patterns that I got. Mostly I printed out 2 sweater patterns from Isabel Kramer, and I really like them. And I was looking through the patterns that she has, and I pretty much like everything that she does. So I might be doing a couple of things from her here soon. That should be fun. Let's see, what you got cooking? Oh, So what's next? What I've got cooking are the things I'm planning to do. So when my socks are finished, which hopefully will be this next week, once I get that stinking heel turned, I have this lovely, beautiful Cascade Heritage sock yarn. It's just 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon, and it's in this beautiful charcoal gray color. It's a little darker than it looks on the screen to me, but the colorway is 5631, and it's just this super soft, super squishy, like, it's so nice to feel. And my husband is going to get socks out of it because he gets socks, because I love him. Oh, my husband. So I made my first podcast, and this is something that I've been talking with him about for a couple of months now, and I think he was under the impression that we were going to do it together, but then I went ahead and did it all by myself. Yeah, so he says I'm not allowed to post them without him getting to edit them first, so I now have an editor, which he'll put pictures of things in if he needs to, or whatever other craziness he puts in. So if there's craziness in here, yeah, that's my husband, because he's funny, and he loves me. Yeah. Okay, so he's getting socks, and then the other thing that he's getting is a hat, and he's getting it out of, I don't know if you can see this. Yeah, you can. He's getting it out of this gorgeous, it's a sock yarn, but it's done in Seahawk colors, because go Hawks. And yeah. Anyway, so it's done in the Seahawk colors, and it's going to be just a simple ribbed hat. I think I had a pattern picked out, but I don't remember what it was off the top of my head. But this is, this yarn is Claudia hand-painted yarns, and it's in the Addiction base, which is a fingering weight. It's 100% extra fine merino, which is why it's being a hat and not socks. But it's, I mean, it's just gorgeous, and it's beautiful colors. And the colorway is navy and green, so, because she didn't want to call it Seahawks yarn, I guess, because it's totally Seahawks yarn. But yeah, so I'm going to start a hat probably early next week is when I'll start that, so that my husband gets a nice cozy early spring hat. It'll stay fairly chilly here until probably about late April, early May, and then it'll start to warm up. But again, it doesn't ever get really hot here, so that's what I've got planned, what I've got going, and what I've done. What am I cooking? Well, sorry, let me have a sip of my tea here. This is just a stash licorice spice. It is a delicious and simple and not caffeinated tea, because I didn't think that I needed any more jumpiness, because I'm usually pretty nervous when I do my podcast. But what have I got cooking? I've got aloo gobi cooking, which is basically, it's the Indian way of saying cauliflower curry. But it's basically potatoes and cauliflower and several spices and onion and ginger and what else? A couple of other things, I'm sure. Turmeric, cumin, coriander, a little bit of clove, some bay leaves, and it all goes. You're supposed to do it like all in one pot on the stove, but I cheated and I just chopped it all up and threw it in the crock pot. And by the time it's done, it'll be all done, and I didn't have to stand at the stove for 45 minutes, because I don't always want to do that. Yeah, so that's what's cooking, and like I said, really short podcast because I haven't had time to knit. We're actually in the process of moving the rooms around in our house. So we have we have 5 bedrooms, and we use one for an office and craft room, and we use one for a guest room, and then the other 2 are for our children. I have a boy and a girl. So over the last couple of years, we've had members of our family living with us in a couple month spurts, or even a close to a year spurt, because they just needed someplace to be for a little while, and I'm nice. So, but now that they, both of them separately, have moved out at different times, we are going to put the children back in the bigger rooms, and put the guest room back in one of the smaller rooms, and separate the office from the craft room, so I get my own craft room. So I will get my own craft room. And the office stuff, most of that will be downstairs. We've kind of consolidated and shrunk and disappeared more of the office-y type stuff that we really don't use or don't need. It was one thing when I was constantly doing stuff on the computer, but since I'm not now and neither is anybody else in the house, it's just silly to have a computer-y office type area. So anyway, so we've been doing that over the last couple of weeks, and it's been a little stressful. Also, my brother will be flying into town early, not next week. He'll be flying in on Valentine's Day, I think. And then he'll be staying with us one night that following week. So I need a place for him to stay in the guest room, so I can't leisurely go about the plan that I had in mind. I have to do it really quick, all in one go. So I've been working on that, and the weather has been pretty crappy. It's been bad, and I'm fairly sensitive to weather changes because I take a medication that makes it so that my joints hurt a lot, and I need the medication, but the side effects can be pretty brutal sometimes. So when it's really bad out, I hurt a lot, so I don't get as much done, and if it's really bad, then my hands hurt too and I can't knit. I know, it's shocking, I know. So at those times I read, or one day I wound all of the yarn that I was planning to use for the next month because I wanted to touch the yarn and I couldn't knit with it because it hurt too bad. So yeah, that's it for me. I was probably supposed to get a list of my favorite podcasters together and share them with you, but I forgot because I've been busy, and yeah. So there's a couple that I watched that I mentioned last time, but the 2 that I've watched recently are the Yarngasm podcast, and that's Kristen from Volenvine Yarns, and she's adorable. She's just adorable. And then the other one that I love to watch is Maria from Stitched in Sweden, and she's just adorable too. And I wish I could have her hair. Like, seriously, I want her hair. If I could choose a hair, that would be the hair that I would choose. I'm stuck with my brown, darkish brown. So, but I'll accept that. At least I have hair. I've been bald before. Yeah, that's what comes with cancer. It's just how it goes. But I'm happy to have hair. I just wish it looked more like Maria's hair from Stitch in Sweden. Anyway, if you don't know those 2 podcasters, I'm shocked. But and you should go check them out. But if you do know them, you know, just make sure you're watching their shows because they're great, great, great ladies. And yeah, that's it for me today. Again, I'm Nellie, and this is the KitchenSix. It's like I can't even talk. This is the KitchenSix podcast, and I'm really happy to have had people view the last one, so hopefully you guys enjoy this one too. Have a really, really great weekend, and we'll see you next time. Bye.